I have major concerns about my phone and me being able to save content, but thankfully I was able to save the lost content, so let's just move on. This guy, I dreamt, first of all, like, God speaks to me through dreams, visions, words of knowledge, words of wisdom, but sometimes he also uses music, and if I wake up with a song just ringing in my mind, I am made to understand what the root cause of that or what message is behind that. And this morning I woke up to hear Pinaya Charlie Puth, I'm only one call away, I am here to save the day, Superman got nothing on me, I'm only one call away. That song, alongside They Say Two Wrongs Won't Make It Right, I don't wanna fight, I'm trying to have some dinner with some candlelight, yeah. Especially the part where the lady sings, if only I gave you one last chance with the devil, you can no longer play. You got to be faithful so we could be truthful, build a family and follow God's destiny. Yeah, so just before I walk out the door, baby, I will listen to your song. That particular verse where this woman is like, if only I gave you one last chance with the devil, you can no longer play. You have to be faithful so we could be truthful, build a family. How in the world am I building a family with an HIV positive man? How's that gonna work? How's that gonna work exactly? Like, must I just take Ngulaza in my stride? I not only woke up to hear Charlie Puth's I'm only one call away, but I heard the Wyclef Jean and I forgot the lady's name, portion of Two Wrongs Don't Make It Right. I also woke up from a dream where, like, I'm currently watching DC's Legends of Tomorrow on Netflix, and there is this guy called Mick in there, and Mick is like a hardened criminal that has been softened by being a legend. And in my, like, Mick is, he's just a rough guy, but in the show he got softened to be better than that. And I had a dream where Mick from DC's Legends of Tomorrow and I were new parents living on this time machine, and Mick was a better man. I understand my dreams immediately when I get them. So basically that dream was telling me that this guy hopes that the day will arrive when I will see him as a reformed criminal. He is a beast and a criminal that's never stopped doing crime. He is not even like Mick at all, who has been rehabilitated in the show. He is still very much a criminal. He is still very much a hustler. He is still very much dark. He's never stopped being that hard thing. But he wants me to believe that he is a reformed man when he is luring me back to him with witchcraft by devastating my life even further beyond what it is already devastated, that I might run to him. And how he hopes that I am going to come back into his life is literally by me going to him. This guy gets out, he's pulling me. Nyewoza. Danki-san. That's what this is. Iwaza. It's a spell that makes a person come to you. A spell that makes a person act out of character and come to you, so it looks as if though so it looks as if though you're not the one asking for them to come back, but that she's the one that's putting her tail between her legs and being like, baby, I see now where you're coming from. I don't know how many times I have gotten dreams of that nature. Last night I got yet another dream because I was in and out of sleep, struggling with insomnia because of the tormentedness that I'm under by this guy, where he was sitting on a bench waiting for me to come, and while he sat, he started to rot. He started to become dead, like his skin went black, and he started to vacuum, like king. How can I describe the way that guy changed? Ingati, somebody was sucking the life out of him. It's like a force, an extraneous force was sucking the life out of him, and he became like a zombie. He became hard, calloused, black, like his skin was shriveling up, like pretty much decomposition that would happen in just a matter of seconds instead of over weeks after a corpse has died. And he was sitting there decomposing as he was waiting. That was God showing me a spiritual death that is like basically necrotizing into him. A death that is impending him, that it's like it's just a matter of time before he goes to hell. This guy. Hore ke mo phonele, ke mo sendele email, anything. Hence the Charlie Puth song. I'm only one call away. I am here to save the day. Superman has nothing on me. I'm only one. So he's basically saying, just send me an email and we're good to go. What the heck? Like, this guy, if I was essentially insane, how under heaven, if I went back there, would he just do away with the HIV concern? Do away with the witchcraft concern? Do away with the 2 ex-wives, the kids he's not taking care of because his name is Nick Cannon? How's he gonna just iron all that out? How in the world is he gonna anticipate that even though I'm prepared to embrace him now because I'm suffering and he has lured me back in, how is he going to expect that I'm suddenly going to drop my bullets and my guns concerning his HIV status, his multiple baby mamas, his 2 ex-wives, and his unemployment? He has no ability to take care of me safely. He has no ability to take care of me safely in a way that is without crime. This man would never be able to maintain even the basic lifestyle I have now without crime. He would not be able to feed me the strawberries I eat, the bananas, the food I eat every month, my diet, my skincare. He would not be able to maintain it without crime. He would not be able to. He is a hustler. So he's basically expecting me to take a criminal in my stride. And last night, again, all of these torments, when this guy's tormenting me, God gives me visions of what life would be like. Not because God is uncertain as to whether or not I would ever capitulate. He knows I never would. But he shows me just how naive this guy is. I had a vision of him go Pick and Pay, stealing meat from the refrigerator, from the freezers at the Pick and Pay, so that he could bring it home to me. Like going to the store, claiming he's gonna go buy food. That this guy's always gonna be a criminal. Like, it's that basic. I also had a dream of him coming to South Africa at Toga, an airplane. Go Tambo. Like, you know, the bags of soldiers, you know, those green army bags where they've just stuffed a whole bunch of their things in there and they come from the battlefield. Yeah, I had a dream of this guy rocking up in South Africa with nothing but that military bag, that military talk bag, whatever, and with just a couple of clothes in it, because he frankly just like, oh, that's why out from a war. He would have come out from a battle zone, and then landed in South Africa to flee that war. This is a man that is tormented by demons. He is tormented by his witchcraft. He cannot stay asleep or even awake for any amount of time. He cannot find peace in his bed because he's always dabbling with demons and he feels like he's going to find peace with me. Kimzalwan, how can I describe this guy? He's like David. He's like Saul, who appreciates David because he plays the harp and it soothes his evil spirit, but he's always just throwing daggers at David because after being soothed he gets jealous and then tries to kill David. This guy is soothed by whatever I am because I have God's spirit truly. And the thing tormentang, I'm able to somehow subdue it for like a few minutes when he listens to me, but then he gets all murderous afterwards and he feels as if though if he were to live with me and come into my space, this entity, these devils that are in him, he feels as if though they will shut up indefinitely. He feels as if though when he leaves the US to come to South Africa to bother me and live with me, he will not have the level of demonic tormentedness that he presently has. He is literally he's on thin ice. He's dying, and in so dying he's trying to force me to come into his life because he has made out of me an idol. He has made out of me the solution to his issues instead of Jesus, or obsessed with a woman to a point where he's trying to force me to be his Messiah. Do you understand? He feels like I'm the person that is going to set him free from the captivity he put himself in, thanks to involvement in sorcery. That's the level of darkness. This guy expects me to write him an email, despite having his, like, in the past, like the last, perhaps like a month and a half to 2 months ago, I sent him an email telling him, go die, leave me alone, I'm sick of your witchcraft. He hopes that the day's gonna come when I write him an email with a different tone, where I'm now like, if only I gave you one last chance. With the devil you can no longer play. You gotta be faithful so we can be truthful. Build a family. How am I gonna build a family with an HIV positive man? A man of which wants to build a family with a woman when he's got kids he's not taking care of. Go and be their dad. That's your family. He's got family. It's just that it's been separated by his irresponsibility. And he wants to rock up, dump all of his kids in America, and come and start afresh with a woman in SA, but not first before giving her HIV. That's the level of crazy that I'm dealing with over here. That's the level of crazy that people that are cellophane are. They thoroughly try to come into lives of people, kankani. Do you understand? They are coercive and forceful. But on that day, they are leaving, do you understand, their first estate. They are making themselves demons in the lives of people that they have made themselves obsessed to. And so therefore they're going to end up killing themselves, even though they did not quite sign up to die like that. This guy is scared of God because he knows he is evil. So he would never just take himself to hell. He would never just kill himself. But from what I see, that's exactly how he's gonna die. Meaning something takes him over to a point of jumping off a building, or however it is that he would end up ending himself. I told you guys that people in the occult have got a high propensity towards suicide. I don't know how many times I can say that. Because these things take them over. They take them over. And even though once upon a time you told yourself, because there's nothing worth that, you then end up swinging on a noose. He keeps on trying to kill me, trying to come back, trying to kill me, trying to come back, trying to kill me on a loop. And now he wants me to believe that, like Mick in DC's Legends of Tomorrow, that I will one day start to see where he's coming from, because he is a reformed criminal. He is not reformed. He has never been saved. He's never been recovered. He has never been redeemed. He has never had interest in the things of God. He has never wanted to turn a new leaf. He has never wanted any such thing, but he wants me to have that opinion of him. When the Lord is exposing your dirty laundry like that, guys, why do you keep trying? And let this be a warning to all you other men that are obsessed with women. Do you understand? To a point where you're telling yourself, you're gonna get out in a casket. Nobody else is gonna love you. Nobody else is gonna accommodate you. Over my dead body, before I ever watch any man walk down, you walk down the aisle to any other man. If you're gonna make yourself that kind of a menace in a woman's life, we get such a dinner in the music video Bambi Bambi Ba, my dear, my dear, my dear. If you're gonna make like Jadena and deal a woman a bad blow as Bambi, thoroughly trying to crash her wedding, God is gonna kill you. Do not think that we are subjugated as women to the tyranny of your stalking, like random, abusive, possessive, demonic countenance. When women give their lives over to Jesus, Jadena dies before he crashes Bambi's wedding. Do you understand what I'm saying? This guy weekends at Bambi and he's about to die. Not Bambi, weekends at Jadena, and I'm his Bambi. And he's telling himself, over my dead body. I told you guys the other day that God rang in my mind. Pinaya Beyonce, ring the alarm. You know Beyonce's song is like, ring the alarm. I've been through this too long, and I'd be damned if I see another chick in your arm. Yeah, this dude is that crazy. He's got that level of psychosis in the ecosystem where he is at, where he's telling himself that he would be damned if he would see another man come and take me. So essentially he is confirming exactly what God is going to do anyway. Damn him. I get it, he's saying that he'll be damned if he sees another man take me. Then he's gonna be damned. That's exactly what's gonna happen. He will be damned before he sees another man take me up as a bride. We are not subjugated to the tyranny of wicked men. Understand that if we give our lives to Jesus, we don't get perpetually stalked by Michael Ealy. Do you understand? We don't perpetually get stalked. These guys might be the bane of our existence and make our lives hard for a very long time. But at some point, after God has given them grace, he just kills them. And this dude from the US is about to die, and anybody else at all, anything without first casting a spell, that is trying to get in my life, trying to slide into my DMs. Nani nizo border. The Lord does not want me tormented like this indefinitely. Do you understand? I don't dabble. I don't do witchcraft. I don't do seances. I don't do all different kinds of strange stuff that you guys do in the occult. And so therefore, I should not be tormented as you are. And if at all you're going to subdue me to the tyranny of being tormented like that, God is going to knock you out, for you have left your first estate. You are trying to do the job of a demon as a human being, and there are no vacancies for human beings to be demons. You either be a human or you gotta die. So people in the occult, you're gonna die. Especially men. And when then they fail, they then try to kill these women or make sure that no man loves them, block them. Your witchcraft is not the be all and end all. You are sending yourselves to hell. Do you understand? You are taking yourselves to hell, and if you want to call my bluff, look, dude, I don't care. Because bottom line is, you're gonna wake up there. You're gonna wake up in the abyss and be like, oh snap, Karabo said so. Just yesterday I was listening to her sermons. Yesterday I was listening to her videos. And here it is that I'm in hell because kizamme. I tried again and now I've died. I tried again and now I'm here. And there's no turning back. If you wanna call my bluff, do you? Men, go on. Making sure they can't get anywhere. Nobody should be out here fearing witchcraft. They should only fear God. And if you fear God, he will help you understand why it is that it is foolish to fear witchcraft. And so I'm explaining the case of this animal, this beast, this obsessive creep in America. He's like Michael Ealy. Black men In one shape or form, you're like Michael Ealy. If you think about Michael Ealy in For Colored Girls, black women, let this be a warning to you as well. When it comes to Banna Babaloyang, they're easy to identify. Who easy, who are born. If you pray to the Lord, He will reveal them to you, but even without praying, even without seeking God's guidance, a man into witchcraft, uyazikhipha. Ngoba he is twitchy, he is glitchy, he is not the same guy okshelile. He is not the person that you imagined you were going on a first, second, third date with. There is something absent of them, but removed, but separated from reality. Unalento eling unhinged in them. And it becomes clear, it's evident. They're not fully present because they are always investing in witchcraft where you are concerned. Every last word you say, this guy in the US, yes, like it, guys. And as soon as he was in, he was bewitching everything in my ministry. Everything. I was talking about how I wanted to make more friends on Facebook so I could reach more people for Christ. He bewitched that so nobody would talk to me because he didn't want men other than him looking at me. He messed with my stats on YouTube, my growth. He messed everything, everything in his own personal capacity. He would listen to my content and then bewitch everything I say. A man control like they're present 100% of the time. So by the time I got talking to this guy on FaceTime, by the time I was talking to him, he was guys, he was rude. First of all, there were elements of rudeness whenever he was when a person is talking and then you stop them just to get clarity on a matter, and he gets irritated with you because he's still trying to finish a sentence that he's manufacturing in his brain because it's not coming naturally. He is literally blowing steam from out of his head because he's thinking really hard about what's the right answer to give you. First and foremost, perpetually, his eyes were always all over the show. And then he was rude. He hated my interjections, or interjection is the wrong word, just stopping him to get clarity on a matter. He was rude to me in that regard because it's almost as if he wanted to finish a sentence so that it could be out there and him not have to think so hard. That's a man in the occult for you. When he listens to everything that you say, he's also not going to be attentive. Thank you. That's another thing about this guy. He wasn't. I would raise certain issues like I had at the time, still to this day, a very hard life. And whenever I would start talking about my life, he appeared aloof and removed and despondent, like he couldn't care. Like he was not comforting or pampering of my true sorrow. And that for me was like, but I'm going through a lot. Why under heaven do I not have comfort in you regarding my situation with my family? Because it's almost as if though he was insisting that it stays that way. He was exacerbating it because he needed me to be in this lowly position for him to succeed, to do what he wanted to do. That guy was trying to rape me, guys. That's exactly what it was. Like just a forcefulness or coercion. So he was careless for my true needs. And he wasn't entirely attentive. He wasn't listening to what I was saying. He was always thinking, looking at this guy. This is a person that is working really hard to finish off manipulating you until he can finally pin you down or pin you down in a marriage. Then that's when he will probably be lax and start relaxing. And so come out, two colors straight all up in your grill. And by then also he's your husband. By then you're already married. That's when you're gonna see real hard knock manifestation. He was trying to keep himself in a bunch, but he couldn't for too long because I'm a Christian, and on top of that, when I fast, when I fast, abantu baya panic at the occult, whatever it shrieks. So whatever was in him was shrieking when I was fasting, and so he manifests demons earlier than what he hoped. That's a person for you. They are deranged and unhinged, visibly so. So you are without excuse when you continue to date a guy like that. But another way, a quick way to find out if a man is involved in darkness is by giving your life to Christ, praying, and fasting. Because then he will manifest so badly that you will find it a turn off that he's doing what he's doing. You will find it a turn off to stay in that ecosystem. This guy was like Michael Ealy in For Colored Girls, in many of the movies. For Colored Girls, if women, you allow yourself to stay in a union with a guy that's unhinged like that, he's kind of deranged. He lacks attentiveness. His eyes and something detached and removed. If you insist anyway on pursuing that thing we push up, like Michael Ealy in For Colored Girls, you will marry him, you will give him children, and one day he will kill you and your children. Or he will kill your children, you, and then turn the gun on himself. Or he will kill your children. Like a man that is ultimately going to give you a great deal of sorrow in the future. You will give him children, you will have something to show for your marriage and your years, and then he will take all of them away. My mother had a friend back in the day who survived a murder-suicide by a husband who was unemployed and she was working. And she came home one night and this guy, that kids were already dead on the floor when she came into the house. When she tried to run, he shot her and then turned the gun on himself. She lived. And we bumped into her about 2 years ago at Clearwater Mall. And my mom was like, yo, story somebody on our cassette. And my heart was so broken. It had been years. Her kids were my age, our age. They'd be today, like maybe like, you know, the 39, 40, 38, 37. They died when they were just kids. Because a husband that was unemployed, that was insecure in the presence of his wife, one day got fed up and told himself that I'm going to kill everybody. It was supposed to end everybody's life, but she got to tell the story. Yeah. When you allow yourself to be with a man like that, currently I'm very broody. I long to have children. That man would kill my children. Like a dog to God. That's the kind of man that we were dealing with, an unhinged man. This is not a man that would ever have been able to earn an honest living. He has messed up his future with a criminal record. That's what's good. So he would have had to start a business, and business is really hard to thrive, especially in an economy like South Africa where there's power cuts, etc., because he wanted to come and live here. That's what's good. So if his business had failed and I was the one that was somehow surviving, making money, or anyway, he's my husband. So I mean, really, we gotta struggle together. That it is what it is. One day I was gonna come back home with groceries in my hand, with a man that's struggling to basically raise money, and my kids would have been on the floor in a pool of blood, and then I was gonna receive a bullet, and then he was gonna put it in his own head. A waste of eggs. Do you understand? A waste of mai, a waste of ban. I'm not about to go mina yo chata indote dangerous kangaka. That's why kisababatle bana in the occult. I don't want anything to do with them. They have a propensity towards ending up like that. Just like Michael Ealy in For Colored Girls. You marry a guy and in the beginning it's okay, but somewhere along the way he gets unhinged. Michael Ealy had gone to war, and when he came back from war he was unhinged. This guy has been to war with demons. He has seen like these entities live because he's busy messing with them. He is the kind of person that is going to be made by those same demons one day to unleash bullets in the brains of my children, me, and then himself. I'm not trying to go out like that. Like when you marry a man that is obviously kind of a loose cannon, you are asking for such a tragedy. He's also like Michael Ealy. These black men, Michael Ealy is one eventuality. Do you understand? In For Colored Girls, or murder suicide is like a whole feasibility. Another movie that Michael Ealy acts in is The Perfect Guy. In The Perfect Guy, he is this obsessive stalker where a woman eventually discovers very early on in the relationship, before she ends up married to him, that he is a creep and obsessive and abusive, and frankly somebody that you should avoid. One of those guys that really your mother done told you about. Run away, be afraid, be very afraid. Michael Ealy starts out alright with this woman and she likes him a lot, until one day he gets really violent at a gas station where he beats up some dude that is praising his girl. That's when Sana Lathan, I had to save there. I was insecure as to whether or not my content was saving because there was too much of a speech lag. Anyway, what I was saying is that's when Sana Lathan, or Nathan, whatever her name is, right? That's when she discovered that she's dating a really nasty guy. And then she starts to basically break up with him. She's like, I'm sorry, I can't do this. Like, I don't want you. You're violent. You beat up a guy at a gas station. You nearly killed him. Like, you're violent. But this guy never ever lets her go. And he becomes so obsessed that he breaks into her house. He messes up her career by showing very lewd, licentious images of her through some kind of a hack, a bug, into the computer systems of her employees at work. And not employees, but her employer. And her boss ends up firing her or putting her on suspension because of that sex scene, essentially. The nudes that were proliferated on email at work. So he destroys her career. A man that comes into your life, you realize very early. Like, this chick had already sent him to meet her parents. And on the way back from meeting her parents, the way that she so liked him, that's when he basically punched into near death a guy at the gas station. Then she broke up with him. So if at all you're wise enough to know that ke rubbish, just like I was wise enough to know that this guy wako America ke rubbish. Do you understand? I quickly got out. Even though there was a time when we were talking about ending up together forever. I quickly got out because he manifested rudeness. There was something violent in him that made me like, whoa, I can't. I'm not staying here. That was not the end. He then became the guy that's creepy, crawling under my bed. Thoroughly as I sleep all night long, he's just under my bed so that he can like smell me as I sleep. That's the kind of guy that will plant cameras in your home. That's the kind of guy that will mess with your career. So in terms of witchcraft, he's a guy that, oh, okay, you don't want to be with me. Your job, you're going to lose it. On your career. On your business endeavors. On your education. He's going to mess with everything in your life to lay you destitute. So you will want no one, so you will need him. So he will literally cast spells on your jobs. He will cast spells on your acquisitions for greatness, degrees, whatever. Everything. That guy did that to me. The dude in America. He was like, your YouTube channel is not going to go anywhere. You are going to sit and basically gather dust until you want me. Yes, like it, guys. Yo, in Jenga, yes, like what? That's not, like, I don't even know what to call that. Like, I said, Njagi, you know, all men are dogs because they cheat. That, you know, when women say all men are dogs because they cheat, like, this is not a cheat. This is not some random typical misogynistic thing. This is not just a man that is being a typical brute in the wild wilderness, but nonetheless you don't feel unsafe in his presence. You don't feel like you gotta board up your house with like titanium and forced steel because of the fact that he is in your neighborhood. So I can't even call him a dog. I don't know what he is. He's a creep, like a psychopath, a Hannibal Lecter. Yes, like it. Anyway, yeah. Singer everything in your life. Just bomb everything. Mess with your family members. And then, Michael Ealy in The Perfect Guy, I get him. He sabotaged Sana Nathan's career. He also killed her ex-boyfriend. Who's this, what's the name of that guy? He's also Morris Chestnut, yeah. Morris Chestnut is ex-boyfriend Yasana in the movie, right? He has Morris killed. He runs him off the road, and then he gets into a car accident, and then Michael Ealy gets out of his car and goes to the scene of the accident and finishes Morris Chestnut off. Morris Chestnut, of which is Sana's most recent boyfriend. So this guy will basically kill every guy that wants you. Every man that tries to pursue you, or every ex that's trying to come back into your life. Like this dude, I once had a dream of him saying, I don't care how many men want her, because I'm going to be the one to get her. The only way he can ever effect that is by messing with my ex-boyfriend that try to come in. It's by messing with any man that might want to direct message me on the internet. Guys, there was a time when I was receiving a handsome amount of DMs per week. It's dead now. On Facebook, kutulile. No one is even trying to talk to me. Stuff like that does not just freaking happen, okay? It's witchcraft that causes a woman to not get looked at, to not get pursued. When you go out there in the street, no man is even trying to without even trying to holler at you. Guys just walk right by you. Because there is something that wards them off about you. No matter how beautiful you might be, all of a sudden nobody's trying to look at you. That, of course, being if you're not in Christ. When you're in Christ, such nonsense does not stick. You ultimately prayed off. You fast and you pray, and then you garner for yourself the requisite attention that can ultimately put you in the arms of a husband. Do you understand what I'm saying? This guy, ecosystem, he will bewitch. There was a day when I went to, to Chinatown to go and buy rosemary or something from some supermarket there. Like, not just rosemary, but a couple of like her ingredients that I use for my drinks and also for my hair. And I was looking for cocoa to see if they have a cheaper version of cocoa than from the Discam. Right, because I'm trying to bargain hunt, given that my mom is so stingy and I'm not getting any money, coming in from any other source, right? And the employee at the supermarket that was helpful concerning the cocoa kept on like ogling, scanning me up and down. Na fleta. He was flirting with me as he was showing me where the cocoa was at and what's more on special and on sale and whatnot, to a point where his colleague had to carry him off, like on some let her shop for cocoa by herself. Like, now that you've shown her where it's at, don't bug the customers type thing. I had a dream where I was in that same scene, right? Go the supermarket, go China Mart, and this guy that works at the store that was showing me the cocoa, I had a dream where I shrunk to the size of like a toy, an action figure toy. Yeah. I shrunk to the size of an action figure, such that he was no longer able to see me as he was standing there tending to customers. I shrunk to the size of an action figure right in front of him. And God was showing me, this animal is trying to make you invisible to men. He's trying to make you invisible to men, such that any guy that would so much as have a crush on you, even if you would never reciprocate, even if it's not somebody that you would ever consider being with, just the flattery that you feel as a woman when a guy is trying to talk with you is enough to give you some confidence for the day, even if you don't want to be with them. But the flattery, it goes a little bit some way concerning confidence. You feel good that, I still got it. You know what I mean? In my dream, I shrunk in front of the guy that was flirting with me at the supermarket. God showing me that this guy is literally making you invisible to men. So nobody will look at you. So you will feel who in the world under heaven marries that? Who ends up with that? Yes, like it sees. Yo, you know what, women, the 2023 is dangerous. These are dangerous times. No longer is your biggest concern rape in the corridor, alleyway, busiku, or on nightclub, or on campus when you are going across east and west campus. Some dude just snatch you and puts you in some bushes and has a field day with you. No longer is that the concern of the woman in 2023. No longer is what happened to Uinene the problem, where you will go to a laundromat and the guy there rape you and kill you. Now, the worry is umuntu ozoyenza ukuthi ushrinke ungabonakali emehlweni wamanye amadoda. A man that's going to make sure that you're invisible to the eyes of other men. A man that's going to go ayobulala ex-boyfriend that wants you back. A man that's going to go ayobulala any man that is pursuing you or cause them to be warded off you. A man otlo go shrinkisang, otlo etsang gore o uze something engang mo pela banna gore ba ska o shela. That's what you need to be worried about, women, because that's the true rapist. That's the true rapist. That's the man that pounces on you when you're walking across campus in the evening and has a field day with you all night with nobody even hearing you because kibusiu. That is what under heaven you must be worried with. Be afraid of men that are junkies in the occult, that keep on casting spells on women 24 hours a day. And if you don't know Jesus, that could be the man that's probably thoroughly proposing marriage to you. That could be the guy. Like Michael Ealy in The Perfect Guy. I'm sorry, I burped, whatever. It happens. Michael Ealy in The Perfect Guy. Sana Lathan takes him to her parents' house. That's the guy that you're introducing to your parents. Thinking, Lana, this is it. Making sure that nobody looks at you in the office. Making sure that the guy that used to have a crush on you in the office now suddenly he thinks you stank. Something about you is off now. You feel like you are oozing into enugayo. Yeah, proper. No longer are you garnering attention for yourself on campus. You were the pretty girl that every guy was trying to holler at, and now all of a sudden say tulila usashelwa. Kodwa boyfriend though. There's a boyfriend. There's someone onjola naye. Ukhona umuntu empilweni yakho yena ubheka. Yena ubusy ushangele Roma. Yena ubusy ukutshela ukuthi muhle. Kodwa ayuye nje kuphela. No longer a guy staring at you when you're at the mall. Now it's just him. I'm sorry. Women, noma une husband and a boyfriend, it feels good to have other men look at you on some, whoa, she's still pretty. Manje, when a man makes sure that you have such low self-esteem that the only person looking at you is him, mina ngifuna indoda, that's the only one engibhekile. Angifuni nala igande khona. I don't want to be with a man because he was the only one ongishetsing out of a myriad of others that just passed me up. Angimfuni. Why wena ongishetse babang bang avoidile? Babang bang avoidile mar wena ongishetse, wena wangipatla, babang bang avoidile. Yo, this guy in the US, 1 minute. I've been back on YouTube now, like 2 years, more or less. And he was the first person to sort of kind of lambaste my DMs. He did not slide into them, he lambasted them. Into my DMs. And the last, I'm sorry guys, this is not to be pompous or arrogant, marang chebeng tu please. I'm beautiful. Alright, I am beautiful. It does not make sense that I am not getting asked any questions along the lines of Karabo, can we talk? What's up, girl? How you doing? For 2 years. I'm sorry. Hi there, guys. I'm blind. The only man that's asked me out in 2 years. The only man. Nah, he wasn't. There was a time when I was being DM'd and then it suddenly stopped. How in the world am I gonna go and marry, as a beautiful woman, the only man that ever pursued me? Only one. What the heck? Why are you the only one? Why is there no, why do you have no competition? Gushkuti lena is so insecure in himself, and he knows ukuthi stats wakhe awek kangakanani that akakwazi ukucompete nabanye amadoda. He does not, he cannot put his best foot forward because he has none. He cannot basically outdo other men. He cannot be the best man that wins. You know that saying, may the best man win? He cannot allow himself to be in that competition because he falls violently short. Manje masoshelo indoda A1 in a year. Bese uyoyichata. I'm sorry girl. Ukhulwele. Eliana fela go shetse ngo campusing ekima ekana ya Wits. Kaofela. UCT yonke. Uye nje kuphela okushelile. And your whole big company where there are like 1,500 employees, uye nje kuphela okushelile. Nje yena. How ile McDonald's uloja bheka ra ke na fela munna. Okhoboneng. He's the only one. Like no one in the street except for him. He's the only like it. Who the heck wants to be with that captor? With that what is this? Hostage taker. He is your jailer. Do you understand? Okuvimbile, and he has marooned you on an island where he is the only person coming to see you. What you're in dire need of is burning a fire, big fat like helicopter above on high. Over that island will find you. Because I have one. You are marooned on an island and you're in dire need of sending up a smoke signal, an SOS on the floor, so somebody can come and snatch you out. Let's hurry poho ke banna ba sa batleng re leshelwe ke ba bang batho cause ba tseba hore bona ba tlo bumper in comparison to the kind of men that would want you. Ndiyazazi mina ndiyazibona mangizibuka esibukweni. When I look in the mirror, I see a beautiful woman coupled with the fact that I'm godly, coupled with the fact that I've got so many other talents, so many skills that tend to cause men to spaz over women. I can sing, I can dance, I can talk. I've got so much going for myself. Kodwa mina ngishelwe indoda A1 ehlangayo. That's Michael Ealy. He will go out here in these streets and murder ex-boyfriend yakho na wonke la madoda amanye out here la emgaqweni azokushela. Yes, like it guys, yazi nisabani la madoda. Thabang di junkies tsa the occult di thabeng. O tlwetsa bophelo ba gago weird wa nkutlwa. Mosadi like validation is something abasadi ba tlhokang like no man's business. Ko lentong la morena Jesu, it is written that the curse on Eve is to basically her desire is for her husband. Essentially, women are cursed to long for validation from banna all the way up until the second coming of Jesus Christ. We are lovable, we are desirable. That's always going to be a thing. And it does not make you pompous, it makes you cursed. It makes you seeking for validation in men. Unfortunately, it is what it is. That's how it is, that's going to be all the way to the end. So when he takes away validation from other than from him, he is causing you a severity of parchment. He is impoverishing you of any kind of emotional respite. Like he is taking away from you pacifier ya homicide. Give validation from banna wankutla, whether or not you want to admit it. Lance only feminist. Your pacifier is validation from men. And when a guy is making sure how now in your ecosystem, he is taking the curse too far in your life, making you feel like you are worthless as a woman. And that's the thing about these kinds of men. They need you to feel worthless in order for them to slip in, because you gotta be eroded in your sense of self-worth to end up with because he's not a fearsome man. He's not a man that you would run away from or clutch your purse when you meet him in the street. He's just a jerk that you avoid dating, but you're not scared of a cheat. However, you are scared of Hannibal Lecter. You are scared of Jack the Ripper. What that guy is a psychopath, the kind of man to hide you in a basement for years on end and putting babies in your stomach. 2007. Kidnapping you and making babies with you in a basement, feeding you by keeping you locked up. That is what this animal in the US is. It's better actually to uhlangana ne-psychopath enjalo in waking life, kodwa one that does that spiritual. You can still roam these streets. You're able to clock in and out every single day. You are walking around, you are able to see abangani, kodwa lo muntu ukuvimbe ngemithi ukhothwa mara ha ho bonagale. Your basement ha e bonagale. Dijo tsa go tlisetsang tsona every day ha di bonagale. Le bana ba ba kenya mo mpeng ya gago through rape. It doesn't look like rape. It looks like you consented. It looks like it's your baby daddy and husband. It looks like something legitimate. Kodwa ukuvimbe ngemithi and untswembu. You are beautiful. Kodwa kunamadoda akushelayo. I'm sorry mina ndoda, I'm not blind. Now yourself wangitshela when he was trying to holler at me, telling me that I'm not blind, I see you're a beautiful woman. When we won, uli one, kannete, uli one, wampona gore nna ke ntswembu ke le uli one. Yes, like ukusangana kungaka lobuthakathi. No, mina grand. Ke shapo. Ntwabanyana eya kwa America bese ke ka tlhokafala. It's like he is in dire need of passing away. And his bicycle sakhe. He needs to die lenja lena. I am so tired. Ke khathetse. Ke tormentedness that I am enduring at his hands. And ntwe eling yena nja ele akusiyinja ngishilo ngasiyinja indoda that cheats on women. Angazi yini ungayibizani python. Angazi whatever. That thing that man is ubiquitously applicable to so many other women in the black community in particular, because ngamadoda ethu that do this rubbish. Yibo abathakatha abafazi kabuhlungu njena. Yibo abavimba abasadi, making them hostages. Ban nabo batho bantsho ke bona ba re tshwarisang ga botlhoko ga kana. O ka se thole nonsense ena, this new them ngeke uyithole in the white community. How do you thole even among Indians? Black men are the ones that are this abusive to their women. Angazi ukuthi yini ngapha. Aketse ba jileng. O tlo sebisa ditlhare ntle fela go lo tshwarisa ngwana batho. Gore ska rata ke le batho go ha bona. No. The biggest cancer in your lives, women, is not gender-based violence with men raping you. It is witchcraft, wankudra, that makes you think ukuthi when I was safe in a relationship with a man that was the only one in 3 years old. Yeah, nanje kuphela uye that decided to marry you when everybody else was strangely repelled by you. Ingati wena unuka something. Ngako uza pass off your body like you're a leper, making the whole world treat you like a leper. But he's the only one happy to marry the leper. I'm sorry, he gotta go. He's the leper. He's the thing that must be avoided. He's the thing that must be marooned on an island left to die. Ngoba he is a menace in any society. Yo lendo talena yar but hasike hong vorva ya hakana nana nasitse ke busy go lo sendela motho email o ke tsebang thotse tsena ka yena. So second component of Michael Ealy in this guy is the guy obulayang every man around you. He will neutralize every man around you so that he will be the only one o tsena ka fa hara bophelo wa gago. So be careful of men that rock up and are the only ones making you big fat chunky promises in a long stretch of time when you are still a very viable beautiful woman that should be basically weighing your options amidst like 20 men, but he's the only bugger that's out here asking the right questions and making the right moves. I won nje kuphela uye. I sorry. I'm so ka seshele ke banna by 10 ka letsatsi ko high school. How qeta mo bo qena o jola le a guy o was the only one who shetseng in 2 years. Una le something esa waiting ngkhausa bona something stank over there. Gunento enugayo mina ngiyazibona I might be 39 headed for 40 kodwa ngisantswembu gabi. It would be like the tantamount of ukuyekela Beyonce given how old she is, or Kim Kardashian in her old age. Uyabona ukuthi basantswembi kangakanani bangashelu. Now that they're like in their 40s, what rubbish is that? Umuntu makazinakekele guys. When a woman has taken care of herself, amadoda noma bancane nama Ben 10 bazohlala bamshela until atswatswa atutubane ali creased, like her skin being like a harmonica. Only then will amadoda be like non grand whatever. But if you're still beautiful, if you're still going to the gym, if your skin is still kept in a bunch, if that retinol is working for you, if you are just busy getting that Botox, if you still look like Kim Kardashian in your 40s, aguna, it would be hell on earth. The year when no man is trying to get with you. Like proper. Age at this point is not the issue. Kita ba rona le monna that's making sure you are a little bit of an anomalous Beyonce. Or since le mopila ana le 40 whatever. Mara ona motho mo shelang other than Jay-Z. What kind of rubbish is that? Like no one is spazzing over a woman that still looks that good. I cannot taba. This is not about age. It's about re dila ka ba loi ba banna ba tsirianeng ba bodileng ba loyang basadi ba tebale mabitso a bona. This is not gonna work. Another movie ya Michael Ealy that displays in defela borabishi ba monna or saying sense is a movie called Their Eyes Were Watching God. Their Eyes Were Watching God. In Their Eyes Were Watching God, Michael Ealy is this Ben 10 ne ejolang le Halle Berry and he's like a 20-something-year-old guy while Halle's like 38 or 39, and we are accommodate. And the relationship when it starts, he's like this irresponsible boy that's not grown enough for a big woman, but he's more or less normal as a boyfriend. And what is this? However, during one storm, he gets bitten by a rabid dog, and so gets rabies. And then he basically is en route death. But you know how rabid people, before they die, how they hallucinate, how they become kind of feral in and of themselves. They become beastly. They become like jungle people. There's no more humanity left in them. Halle Berry in Their Eyes Were Watching God eventually had to kill her fiance / lover / boyfriend, whatever, Michael Ealy, because he got bitten by a rabid dog and then became intolerable. He almost killed her, and she ended up killing him. He became feral, like an animal that you would find on the side of the street that's still wild and hissing and growling at you. He became feral. Do you understand? That's what witchcraft does to a person over the years. They become feral. They become beastly, animalistic, Amazonian, and so therefore unsafe to live among human beings. And this guy is exactly like Michael Ealy in Their Eyes Were Watching God. He is feral. The witchcraft that he has partook in has taken him far. He's like, the other day I used the example of the movie The Fly. They merge and enter into singularity with demons until there is nothing of them recognizable anymore. So while at some point you could work with them, somewhere along the way they get feral. And the thing that makes them feral, it is the attempt to be with a woman that does not make sense for them, or they attempt to acquire something sensing. These men, God knows how to handle people. Like these men in the occult, they dabble and they dabble and they dabble. They get everything about busy, slay queen all over the show. They do all these rituals. They keep snakes and what have you, and they don't tend to fall in love like properly because they're in the dark until they do. There is a scripture in the Bible that says that a couple of things are too awesome to mention and four too marvelous to gaze upon, and one of those things is a man with a maiden. A man with a maiden. So basically the Bible says that there are things in this earth that are really marvelous to look at, and among them is the way of a man with a maiden. In other words, the way of a man in the presence of a woman he adores. Something of him, he just becomes he loses his cool, if you know what I mean. When a man is in the presence of a woman he loves, he can stutter even though he is well spoken and articulate. He can fumble around. He will basically be like a puppy panting with its ears flapping because a woman has just subdued him. She has that power to mesmerize a man, right? So basically women have a lot of power over men. That's why the Bible says that a bad woman is like rottenness in the bones of a man, because she can entirely send him down to death. The wicked woman, her feet go down to Sheol. She can send a man to hell. But a good girl, is written in God's word that she is a crown of glory on the head of a man. Therefore, God has given women a lot of power to influence men and to cause them to do things that under normal circumstances they would not do. So if a man falls in love with a woman, Percy Sledge has a song, "When a man loves a woman." If a man falls in love with a woman, that woman can be used as a judgment by God on him, if at all he is evil. So men in the occult, God tends to finish them off. He tends to deal with them through women. Ahab gets killed because of Jezebel. Do you understand? Samson, his waywardness concerning women basically led to the end of him. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, if at all a man does not exercise self-control where women are concerned, these women can be his ruin. Look at Solomon at the end of his life. It was women. Women can utterly shatter and destroy men. So if at all a man is a man as a menace to society, and God wants to deal with his menacing ways, he every so often brings in a woman that he will fall in love with, that is going to be the end of his life. A man that is pompous, that is arrogant, that is unyielding, that is unfathomably obstinate, can be handled by falling in love with a woman. This woman essentially holds the keys to the locker room that has got his heart in it, that she might crush it to the end of itself. There is a movie that also displays this really well. It's Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. The second one or the third, whatever. Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. The one with Davy Jones. And he is in love with this woman called Calypso. Or, I forgot what her other name is. Do you understand what I'm saying? Calypso is a woman that caused an otherwise good man to become a little devil because she broke his heart. She broke his heart. So he incarcerates her and goes and becomes this little devil guy at sea that has got this like band of pirates that are at his servitude, right? At his mercy. And he no longer does the job that he's supposed to do, so he becomes all tentacly. If you have seen Davy Jones in Pirates of the Caribbean, you will know what I'm talking about. It is love gone wrong. It is where it is that a woman comes into a man's life and utterly menaces him. She completely shatters him. A man that was under normal circumstances quite sturdy, quite strong. Here it is that now he's being made wobbly-legged by Itigin, the way of a man with a maiden. So if a man is evil, sometimes God will use a woman he loves to finish him off. And this guy in the US, Khalanza singa, Khalanza ravaza, Khalanza mora, Khalanza singa, Khalanza tumpadicheri, Khala, he's been a wife beater. He has been a devil worshiper. He has been all different kinds of nasty things. And God was like, I know how I'm going to deal with you. You're going to fall in love with a woman that you're not going to be able to have, and you're going to become Davy Jones, and that will be the end of you. You are going to look at her and see Calypso, and you are not going to be able to do anything but focus obsessively so on getting her. And because she's my daughter, I will protect her from you, and you as Davy Jones will finish yourself off because of your obsession with a woman. But it will have been a judgment on you for all the other menacing things you did out here in these streets. Men in the occult become Davy Jones because they end up they act a fool all their lives, and they're very pompous and arrogant, and then God makes them fall in love with good girls that don't want anything to do with them. God later on makes them fall in love with either Christian women or good girls that are like, I don't do guys like this, I'm not interested. And upon this woman not wanting him, he will then use all of these spells. He will pull out all the tricks out of his hat. He will put a spatter in the works. He will do all different kinds of things just to get at Calypso. And his failure, his devastating and destituted failure to succeed will end him. It will end him, but he will try. He will try and he will try, because remember, they're in the occult, they're entitled, they feel like they can get everything they want using this stuff. Waving their magic wands, they will get exactly what they want. And upon them failing to get it, they get finished off. They reach singularity as a result of insisting of continuously bewitching one source. One human being, one person will be the focus of these men's attention, to a point where they will drop the ball in business. They will not wait again. Disheveled. He will stop shaving because of a maiden. The way of a man with a maiden, if at all she's reciprocating, he's all good. But if at all this maiden that he is besotted with, beside himself with adoration over, is not reciprocating, she is the end of his life. And I am a Calypso to this rando. I am the maiden in his grill, and he will not stop trying to catch me, gankani, pounce on me like a beast. And God is like, I'm sorry, that's my child. Ew, Marakimo wa foster. He hopes the day's gonna come when I go to him. He is rabid now. He is a rabid man. He has got rabies, and he has become feral, and all that's left is for him to die. Marubizi, trying to kiss Calypso. He is obsessed with Calypso, and when Calypso does not reciprocate, he gets angry, tries to kill her. It's the very end of Davy Jones. A woman tends to be the end of such evil men. So stop bewitching the world, because God will bring a woman that you will not be able to grasp, and she will be the end of your lives. And as for women, avoid Davy Jones. Avoid men, run to Jesus. He's the only one that can protect you. America, he is naive. What do you call this? Type him an email. DM and myself on some baby, I miss you. No, I don't. And even the fact that I once upon a time called you baby makes me cringe. It makes me cringe. Lona, I got my options. He either gotta repent or perish. At this point, I feel like he's perishing. I don't care. I just need relief from this guy. He is the bane of my existence. He is the bane of my existence. How will that ever feasibly be a thing? He is feral. It is the reason why and because he is as rabid as he is right now, ayenzi sense. Habone lo bon ntse busy antsa bapala ka ditlhare ka mo ipitsa mzalwane we itsekeng ke a leka tswa mo modimo ga ba ne le batla satane le ska tlo mixa, because that's when God is going to bring over a Calypso in your lives, Davy Jones. Le tlo bola ke taba le rata basadi ba sa le batleng. I'm signing out in Christ's name. K Michael Ili ka repenta. Peace.